Starting now, Be'ez Hashem Yisborach, Maseches Horayoth Daf Zayin, Amud Aleph. We're starting the Mishnah Halacha Beis. Perik Beis, Halacha Beis. We started this already, and we're continuing here. Hoyru Bezn, B'hoyru Achreihen. What's the story? The story is like this. We had a Mishnah that there's a erroneous Beis. Beis gives out a ruling, erroneous ruling, and the people follow that ruling. We say that if the majority of people do it because they followed Beis's ruling, then the Beis brings a par. That's in Pashas Vayikra. A par is called par halim dover shel Tzibur. Now, if the Kohen HaMashiach makes an erroneous ruling and he follows his own error because he made this error, now he follows it, then he also brings a par called par Kohen Mashiach, also in Pashas Vayikra. Now, what is the din if the Kohen Mashiach is part of this basin, he's together with the basin, he also agrees to the basin. So Mishnah says he'd not count it as a individual ruling. He is considered like he's following the ruling of Basin, and he does not bring a separate korban. Now, the Gemara is going to go more into detail into this discussion. Hoyru Basin v'hoyru Achreihen. So, first of all, we start off with this. First, the Basin said that you can eat a certain fat that's forbidden, and Basin made an error, and they thought that that is permitted fat. So they said you can eat the fat that's on the right kidney. And this Kohen, also agreed. Pshita ocha b'ois bezin potter. And then he ate. So he doesn't bring a korban because that's part of this generalization that if he's part of the public, so he just, the same korban that the public brings, he's also potter. He's part of the public. And actually, we have to add, let's assume for argument's sake that he's the only one that followed the ruling of Beis. It's also, that's a rule that somebody, a yochid, that did following the Beis is potter. The fact that nobody else did it, that doesn't seem to change the thing too much. But here we're going to say a different story, a different case. Ochal meshechazru behim Beis. What about, we had before that once Beis retracts their error and somebody else goes ahead and does it, he's chayiv a korban because the Beis error is already seceded. It's already over. They cut their psak. They said, we take back what we said. So now somebody does it. It's on his own hand, on his own violation. So that Mishnah says that if a person does it when he is on his own, he is chayiv. But here the question is, okay, so this is an interesting question. The question goes like this. The Kohen Mashiach, he did it after the Beis retracted. Do we say that if so, it's you know what? Beis retracted, but his psak is still intact. So now we can tell him, you know what? You said that you can eat the fat, and now you followed your own psak, so you bring a korban. Or do we say that his psak never had a value of a psak because it was swallowed in the psak of the Beis? So when he eats that fat, he's not chayiv because we know a rule that a Kohen Mashiach only brings a korban if he has a psak, a helam dover, mshigas masa. What does it mean? That the is not a regular shoygig. It must be a shoygig that went because of a false psak. He's amazed in the maisa. It's called shigas maisa, but really we can call it mazed because the the Maisa is just because of the Helen Dover. That is a typical case. So here we have two ways how to look at it. Either we say that let him bring his Parkoy Mashiach because he himself gave this psak, and now he follows his own ruling, and the Bezdin is already out of the picture because they retracted. Or do we say that since he was giving this psak, this ruling, together with the Bezdin, so his ruling has no power of a ruling. It got, so to speak, swallowed into the ruling of Bezdin. It got absorbed. So the Bezdin is the one that takes responsibility for this ruling. And if he does it, even though Bezdin retracts, but his ruling was never a ruling either. So it's just like he's doing something in an error, and we know for a rule that a Kohen Shir does something in error, does not bring a carbon, only if there's a ruling. Interesting question. Very lumdish question. Let me write it down the right way. Take them a boil on. So let's write it down. Tzibur Vadai Chayov Sharai Yeshkan Chazara. That's number one. Well, Shemu Gabai Kohen Mashiach Hashem Kohen Mashiach Potter. Shem Kohen Mashiach Potter. Why the Kohen Mashiach Potter? Mepnei she'ein kan hoiro the nivla hoiro osoi behoiro oson. I'm using a fancy word, but I think that's the nivla hoiro. She'ein kan heroes Kohen Mashiach. Okay, now we'll go continue weiter. Rabbi Yasser, belomas netehi. Can't we prove this from a Mishnah? Hoyer b'fnei atzmai, v'asa b'fnei atzmai, mitzkap b'fnei atzmai. Mishnah says, if the Kohen Mashiach makes his own ruling and he follows his own ruling, then he brings a carbon himself. So we can derive from this that if he was Hoyer Tzibur, and here we have interpretation of this word, that this means Hoyer Tzibur would mean exactly what we said now. My love, Kehai Gavna. That means he was Hoyer together, and the Bezin retracted. So we don't know what to be medayik. We can be medayik both in this particular case, where we call it in an interesting language now. We changed a little bit transformation of the language. It's called Hoyrem Tzibur v'Asa b'fnei Atzmai. That's how it's called. Okay, Halacha Gimel. Ein Chayaven Elal Halim Dover Shigas HaMaisa V'chein HaMashiach. The only obligation of a Bezdin is only where they forgot something, and then because of that there was a Maisa, action done. And a Mashiach, same thing. Zara, same applies that Pasha Shlach, it says by the Zohar that the Beis Din brings a par and a soir. Par lo'ile soir lechatos is also elo lehelam davam sheigas hamaisa. It's not when they did the Tzibur did avodah zara b'shoigig. Only if the Beis Din ruled that a certain type of a certain action is not considered avodah zara, and that's why the Tzibur did it. They follow this ruling, and Beis Din brings for that a par and a soir, a bullock and a goat. This Mishnah goes like Rameir. Which Mishnah? Mishnah says she'ein Beis Din chayav. It says the language of Beis Din, so it sounds that we're going according to Rameir. Hiding Rameir, I'm going to say Rameir. The Omer chayav is Beis Din. Omer Ramona. Rameir Tani Taman. It says Hoyru Beis Din also called Meis Echna Beis Din Pturim Meis Echna Tzur chayav. Now this is just the Hemshech HaBrai, so this is not really important for here. We had this before already. Just really, sometimes Yerushalmi brings down the whole thing just to finish it off. But anyway, this is Shittas Rav Meir that says that the obligation of the par falls upon the Beis Din, not upon the people. Okay, now let's see if we can go a little bit further. Yeah, let's finish till Halacha Dalet. Rav Yirmi Aboya Kumer Reb Zeira. Yirmi asked a question in front of Reb Zeira. Ma Kerebi? It goes like Rebbe? The Rebbe Omer Mashiach Mashigas Maisel in Karabanan Behelam Dover who? So there's a Machlokes Rebbe and Rabbanan. If a Kohen Mashiach, what is his status when it comes to Avodah Zarah? Do we say that he has the same, like, his status when it comes to other Averis? That the only Chiyuv Karban is when he is making a mistake, an error in Halacha, and then he follows that action because of his mistake. That's called Halim Doveram Shigas Maisa. Or do we say that when it comes to Avodah Zarah, a Kohen Mashiach is chayiv even by a Shigas Maisa, the regular case of every Yochid that brings a korban by Avodah Zarah. So the Machlokes Rabbi Chacham, Rabbi Omer Shigas Maisa, but Omer Dove, Omerei Lama. So why should you see such a thing that this Mishnah goes like Rabbi? Because it doesn't say. It's interesting. Our Mishnah does not say here. Ein Chayam Elam Ha'adosh Shigas Mashiach. But Avodah Zarah, it doesn't say V'chein HaMashiach. So it seems that Mashiach by Avodah Zarah does not require Helam Dov Shigas Maisa. That's like Rebbe. So the Gemara of Basra Latinin Mashiach. Look at the next Mishnah. It says there, also a thing by Avodah Zarah that you only chayiv if it's such a thing that you chayiv karas, and it doesn't say V'chein Mashiach. But for sure, Mashiach B'klal. Mashiach B'klal. Even though it doesn't say Mashiach B'klal. So the Mishnah doesn't hear this Mishnah. It says, Ein Chayam Adosh is doing the cards, she goes to Chat, V'chein Mashiach. But by Avodah Zarah, it doesn't say V'chein Mashiach. But for sure, it means Mashiach also. So we must say that the Mishnah does not finish it off. And the word V'chein Mashiach has to be said again afterwards. That V'chein Mashiach. So here also could be V'chein Mashiach is just omitted, but it really does have the same psak. Here too, even though there is no clear reference in the Mishnah to the Anointed Priest, the Anointed Priest is included under the rule. It doesn't say Beferish, but it's included. So this is the end of Daf Zayin Amid Aleph. Zion Omid Aleph.